The glow of her apartment lights spilled into the hallway as I stood frozen at the door, my phone still warm in my hand. The screen lit up again, displaying the message I had already memorized. The words burned themselves into me. I miss your body. When can I see you again? It wasn't for me. I stepped inside. My chest felt heavy, as if every beat was fighting against the truth I already knew. Amelia sat on the couch, legs curled under her phone, still in her palm. She looked up with that same disarming smile I had fallen for countless times before. I didn't smile back. "Who is Oliver?" My voice came out sharp, unshaken. She froze. For a second, her mask slipped, but then her lips curved upward again, soft and practiced. "He's just a friend," she said. The word friend felt poisonous. I walked further in, each step dragging the truth closer to the surface. Friends don't text you at 2 in the morning asking when they can see you again. Friends don't send hearts. Friends don't write that they miss your body. My voice grew louder with each sentence. She flinched but forced out a laugh, brittle and hollow. "You're overreacting. You always jump to the worst conclusions." I raised the phone between us. The glow from the screen lit her face, exposing every lie she tried to bury. "So I imagined the messages. I imagined you calling him baby." She stood slowly, smoothing the silk dress that clung to her body like a weapon. When she walked toward me, her hips swayed deliberately, like she still believed she could charm her way out of the wreckage. "I love you," she whispered. That's all that should matter. Her perfume reached me before she did, the scent familiar, almost suffocating. I wanted to breathe it in, to lose myself in it the way I used to. But the phone in my hand felt like an anchor pulling me back to reality. "You told me that last night." "Amelia," I said, my voice cracking with anger. "You whispered it while you were in bed with me. Were you already planning to see him again?" Her eyes glistened, shimmering with tears that looked almost rehearsed. "I made a mistake. A stupid mistake. It didn't mean anything." "Stop lying," I snapped. "You don't text someone like that if it means nothing." Her hand reached for mine, fingertips brushing my wrist. My body stiffened, every muscle resisting the pull I once craved. She let out a sharp breath when I pulled away. "You think you're so perfect?" She shot back. "At least I never left." I stared at her, stunned. "You didn't need to leave. You brought someone else in? That's worse." Her voice softened suddenly, fragile, desperate. "I can't lose you." The words made my chest ache, but not for the reasons she wanted. "Then why did you risk everything?" I asked, almost pleading. "Why did you lie to my face?" Her lips trembled as she spoke. "Because I wanted to feel wanted. You've been so focused on work." He made me feel alive for a moment. "But I swear, it was you I thought of the whole time." The confession cut deeper than the lie itself. "You thought of me while you were with him?" "Yes," she said quickly. "Because you're the one I love." I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something just to release the storm inside me. Instead, I whispered, "Love doesn't look like this." She stepped closer until her breath brushed against my cheek. Her eyes were wide, pleading, but her lips curved like she knew she still had me. "Kiss me. If you kiss me, you'll know I'm telling the truth." My body leaned instinctively toward her, and for one dangerous second, I almost gave in. But then I remembered the messages, the betrayal. The way she had looked at her phone instead of me. "You think I'll forget everything because you touch me?" I said, pulling back. "Because you still want me," she replied, her voice low, steady. "I can see it in your eyes." She was right. I hated that she was right. Part of me still wanted her, even after everything. That was the cruelest part of love. It didn't die the moment it should. "I wanted a future with you," I said, my throat tightening. "A family. I trusted you with everything." Her eyes filled again, but her voice was calm, manipulative. "And you still can. Let me fix this." I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. "You can't fix betrayal. Once it's broken, it never goes back the same." Her tears dried almost instantly. She straightened her posture, her expression hardening into something calculated. "You'll forgive me. You always do. You're too soft for your own good." Her words stabbed deeper than any apology could have healed. "Not this time," I said, turning for the door, my hand wrapped around the handle, my pulse hammering in my ears. Behind me, I heard her sharp intake of breath. I turned just once more, and there it was, that dangerous smile. Her last card to play. "You'll come back," she whispered, her voice calm and chilling. "You always do." The door closed behind me, but her words clung to me like smoke, following me into the night. The bar was quiet, almost too quiet, the kind of place where broken hearts came to hide. I sat hunched over the counter, my fingers wrapped around a glass of wine that tasted more like regret than comfort. The dim neon light above flickered, casting shadows across the empty stools. My reflection stared back at me in the glass, and I hated how defeated I looked. The bartender glanced my way. "You look like you're trying to forget something." "I'm trying," I muttered. Failing, the wine slid down my throat like fire. But the burn wasn't enough to erase Amelia's face from my mind. Her smile, her touch, the way she whispered she loved me while her phone lit up with another man's name. Every sip felt like punishment, yet I kept drinking. The bell above the door rang softly. I didn't care to look until I felt eyes on me. "You don't look like someone who should be alone," a voice said. I turned. She stood there with a calm confidence, her coat draped over her shoulders, her gaze steady and unafraid. She walked over and slid onto the stool beside me, close enough that I could feel the warmth radiating from her. "Depends who you ask." I said, "I'll ask you then," she replied. "Do you want to be alone?" I hesitated. "Not really. But I don't want to be reminded of why I'm here either." "Fair enough. I won't ask. I'll just sit." Her presence unsettled me. Not in a bad way, but in a way that stirred something I thought was gone. She didn't fill the silence with meaningless chatter. She just stayed, as if her being there was enough. "You always approach strangers in bars." I asked. "Only the ones who look like they're drowning," she said. "Figured I'd throw you a rope." I let out a dry laugh. "Maybe I don't want saving. Then maybe you just want company." Her words hung between us. She was right. I didn't want saving. I wanted someone to see me without judging the mess I was in. "What's your name?" I asked. "Isla," she said, her voice soft but firm. "Isla," I repeated. You don't have to tell me," she cut in. "Not yet. Tonight, we're just strangers." I raised an eyebrow. "Strangers. Strangers who can pretend this night won't follow them home." I nodded slowly. Maybe pretending was exactly what I needed. I lifted my glass toward her. "Then pretend to drink with me." She signaled to the bartender. "Red wine." "Same as him." When the glass arrived, she lifted it toward me. Our fingers brushed as we clinked. The touch lingered longer than it should have. "Two strangers," she said. "Two strangers," I replied. The wine tasted smoother this time, though maybe it wasn't the wine at all. "So," she asked, "what does a stranger like you do when he's not trying to drink himself numb?" "Work," I said. "Too much of it. Not enough of what matters." Her head tilted. "And what matters?" "Trust. Honesty. Things people promise until they decide not to keep them." Her eyes softened, but she didn't pity me. She leaned closer, her shoulder brushing mine. "Who broke it?" I gave her a faint smile. "You said you wouldn't ask?" "I didn't," she replied. "You just answered." She was right. I had told her without meaning to. Something about her made it impossible to hide. "Someone who knew exactly how much I loved her," said quietly. "Then she's a fool," Isla said without hesitation. Her bluntness startled me. "You don't even know me." "I don't need to," she said. "I can see it in the way you talk, the way you hold your glass like it's the only thing keeping you steady. You give too much, ask for too little, and you drown when someone decides to let go." Her words cut deeper than any sympathy ever could. She wasn't trying to comfort me. She was telling me the truth. "And you?" I asked. "What kind are you?" She looked down at her glass, then back at me. "The kind who notices." Her answer sent a strange ache through me. One I couldn't place. I shouldn't have cared. She was a stranger. But somehow, she felt anything but. "Why are you here tonight?" I asked. Her eyes met mine, steady and unflinching. "Because sometimes I need saving too. Just in different ways." For a long moment, we didn't speak. The silence between us wasn't heavy like it had been before. It was alive, charged, dangerous. I caught myself watching the curve of her lips, the way her fingers circled the rim of her glass. "This feels dangerous," I said. "Then why are you still here?" she asked. The question burned hotter than the wine. "Because I don't want to leave." She leaned in just slightly, her voice low enough to pull me closer. "Good. Then don't." Her words settled deep inside me, quieting the storm that had consumed me since Amelia. For a moment I almost forgot. Almost. My phone buzzed against the bar. I looked down, and my chest tightened. Message from Amelia. "Meet me. Just one last time. Asterisk. I shouldn't have gone." Every step toward the restaurant felt like dragging chains, yet my chest ached with the pull of her. Amelia, she was already there, waiting at the corner table. A black dress clung to her body like it had been made for one purpose only, to make me forget what she had done. Her eyes caught mine the moment I entered, and she smiled like nothing had shattered between us. "Sit with me," she said, her voice low, smooth, commanding. I lowered myself into the chair across from her, though my body screamed at me to leave. The air between us was thick, as if the walls themselves knew the kind of history that sat at this table. "You came," she whispered, her hand reaching halfway across the table. "You asked," I replied. "Doesn't mean I should have." Her fingers brushed mine, soft, deliberate. "But you did. That's what matters." I pulled my hand back. "What matters is that you lied." Her eyes darkened, but she didn't flinch. "I made a mistake." "A mistake is forgetting an anniversary," I said. "What you did wasn't an accident." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, not quite regret. "And yet you're here. You could have ignored me, but you didn't." I hated how right she was. Her perfume swirled around me, intoxicating, dragging me back to nights I swore I would bury. "Say what you came to say," I told her. "I still love you," she said. "Every part of me still wants you." He didn't mean anything. I clenched my jaw. "You said the same words while you were with him." She leaned forward, her neckline dipping, her eyes locked on mine. "Because I wanted you and only you. I was stupid, reckless. But my heart never left you." The heat of her closeness clawed its way into my veins, leaving me restless, unsteady. I felt her hand touch mine again, firmer this time, refusing to let go. "Do you feel this?" she asked. "Because I do. It hasn't gone anywhere." I shook my head, but I didn't move. "I feel betrayal, Amelia. That's all." Her thumb traced slow circles against my skin, awakening memories I tried to drown in wine the night before. "You don't mean that. If you did, you wouldn't still look at me the way you're looking right now." Her confidence infuriated me. "You're twisting this. I look at you and see the lie that broke me." She tilted her head, eyes shimmering like she could turn my anger into desire. "Or you see the woman who knows every inch of you better than anyone else ever could." Her words struck deep, not because they were true, but because a part of me wanted them to be. My pulse hammered as her face leaned closer. Her lips grazed my cheek, slow, deliberate. The brush of her mouth felt like fire against my skin. "You don't get to do this," I muttered. Breath caught in my throat. "I already am," she whispered, "because I know you want me to." My chest tightened. I wanted to push her away, but for a fleeting second, I let myself feel it. The closeness, the history, the dangerous familiarity of a love that hurt more than it healed. Then Isla's face cut through the haze. The calm in her eyes, the quiet strength in her presence. She didn't claw for me. She didn't twist me into knots. She just stayed. And that simple difference shattered the illusion Amelia was trying to weave. I pulled back, forcing space between us. "You don't love me, Amelia. You love control." Her smile faltered, but her grip tightened. "That's not true. It's the only truth," I said. You're not here because you regret what you did. You're here because you're afraid I'll walk away for good." Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. But the smirk tugging at her lips betrayed her. "And you think you can?" I swallowed hard. My body still ached for her, but my heart knew the truth. "I have to." She leaned in so close. Her breath warmed my ear. Her voice slipped through me like poison wrapped in honey. "If you walk away, you'll regret it for the rest of your life." Her words lingered long after she spoke them, wrapping around me like a curse. The cafe was louder than I expected, the kind of place where voices overlapped in a messy harmony. I only wanted coffee, nothing more, but fate had other plans. "Funny seeing you here," a voice said. I turned, and there she was. Eyelid, her hair was tucked behind one ear, sunlight catching the edges like a halo. She wore a simple cream sweater and jeans, nothing dramatic. But somehow, she lit up the whole room. "You again?" I said, a half smile tugging at my lips before I could stop it. "Is that a complaint?" she asked. "No," I admitted. "More like surprise. Good kind. The best kind." We stood in line together. I caught myself glancing at her more than once, and each time, she noticed. She didn't look away. "So what's your order?" she asked. "Black coffee?" "Simple, nothing fancy." She tilted her head. "Of course. You look like the type who wants everything straightforward. And you?" I asked. "Flat white. Sweet, but not too sweet. Just enough." I raised an eyebrow. "That says something about you," she smirked. "And your black coffee says something about you?" We laughed, and it was easy, too easy. The kind of laugh that made strangers feel like old friends. We took our drinks and sat by the window. Sunlight poured across the table, and for a moment, I forgot every shadow Amelia had left behind. "So," Isla said, leaning forward, "are you always this serious? Or is it just me bringing it out of you?" "Me? Serious?" I chuckled. "I think you're imagining things." Her eyes narrowed playfully. "No. I can read it. You're carrying something heavy. I saw it at the bar too. You looked like you were drowning." I shifted in my chair. "Maybe I was. Still drowning?" she asked softly. Her tone wasn't prying. It was gentle, like she was offering me a lifeline without asking for anything in return. "Less today," I said. She smiled. "I'll take that as progress." The conversation flowed faster than I expected. We talked about the city, the noise, the way people moved too quickly. She told me she had just moved here, trying to start fresh. "Fresh from what?" I asked. She hesitated, then sipped her coffee. "A past I'd rather not repeat." I nodded. "I can relate." Her eyes flicked to mine, holding them for longer than they should. "Then maybe we both needed this." "What's this?" I asked. "Just a moment," she said. "Two strangers sitting in the sun, pretending life isn't messy." "Pretending," I repeated. "That I can do," she laughed, soft and unguarded. And for the first time in weeks, I laughed with her without feeling guilty. At some point, our hands brushed on the table. Neither of us moved away. The contact lingered, small but electric. "Sorry," she murmured, though she didn't pull back. "Don't be," I said. Her cheeks flushed, and I knew she felt it too. That dangerous almost. The kind that crept in when words weren't enough. "You know," Isla said, "you're not as unreadable as you think. You wear your heart in your eyes," she said. "I can tell when something hurts you. And I can tell when something heals you." Her words hit harder than I expected. "And what do my eyes say right now?" She leaned in, her voice barely above the cafe's chatter. "They say you don't want this moment to end." I exhaled slowly. She was right. "Maybe I don't," I admitted. She smiled like she'd just unlocked a secret. "Then don't let it." We talked until the cups were empty, but neither of us moved. The sun shifted, painting shadows across her face, and I couldn't look away. "You make it feel easy," I said quietly. "What?" she asked, breathing, her lips parted, caught off guard. Then she laughed again, softer this time. "That might be the best thing anyone's ever told me." I meant it. Every word. And that terrified me. When we finally stood, she surprised me by pulling me into a hug. It wasn't quick or polite. It lingered, warm and steady, as if she knew how much I needed it. I closed my eyes. For a dangerous second, I didn't want to let go. When she pulled back, her hands rested on my arms, holding me in place. "See you again?" she asked. "Yes," I said without hesitation. Her smile widened, and in that moment, the weight of Amelia felt lighter. But fate doesn't let go so easily, because when I turned toward the door, I saw her, Amelia. She stood by the entrance, eyes locked on us, her jaw tight. Her stare burning holes through the space between Isla and me. The air snapped in half. Asterisk. My phone buzzed again. Midnight. Amelia's name lit up the screen like a wound that refused to close. Answer. Me. Her voice snapped when I picked up. I shouldn't even be on this call, you missed me, she said. I didn't. You did. I can hear it in your voice. I closed my eyes, pinching the bridge of my nose. What do you want? Her tone softened, sweet as poison. I want us back. I want you. You want control? I said, a low laugh. If that's what keeps you close, then fine. I hung up. The silence after her voice was heavier than the call itself. The next morning at work, she appeared at the lobby desk. Red dress, deliberate, striking. She leaned against the counter like she owned the building. You're not supposed to be here, I told her, stepping out of the elevator. Relax, she said. I just came to say hi. Leave. Her smile was razor sharp. You still sound like you care, because I don't want you to ruin what's left of me, I shot back. She tilted her head. Too late, Sakiri asked if she needed an escort out. She laughed it off, walked away like nothing had happened. But her perfume trailed me the entire day. By evening, I tried to shake her from my thoughts. Isla had agreed to meet me for dinner. Something simple, nothing fancy. Just two people trying to breathe in each other's company. She arrived in a navy dress that fit her like calm itself. You look tired, she said. I've had a long day, Amelia. I froze. How did you know? Her eyes softened. Because you look haunted, I exhaled. She showed up at my office. Are you okay? She asked. I don't know. She reached across the table, her hand brushing mine. Then let's just eat. One meal without her shadow, we ordered. We talked. For a while, I forgot Amelia existed. Ela laughed at one of my sarcastic comments, her smile wide enough to crack through the walls I built. I caught myself watching her more than I should, wanting more than I should. Then my phone buzzed. A message. A photo. Amelia in lingerie. The caption, remember this? You will. I locked my phone, face tight. Isla noticed. Bad news? Not worth ruining tonight, I said. Her gaze lingered. You can tell me? It's Amelia, I admitted. Her jaw tightened, but she nodded. She's not going to let go easily. She doesn't want me, I said. She just doesn't want me with anyone else. Then she's playing a game and I'm caught in it, I muttered. No, Isla said firmly. You get to choose whether you play. The strength in her voice steadied me. But deep down, I knew Amelia wasn't finished. The next week proved it. She called at all hours, left notes on my car, even sent flowers to my apartment. Every gesture felt less like love and more like possession. One night after work, I found Isla waiting outside. She smiled, warm and patient. Walk with me? I nodded. The city buzzed around us, but somehow it felt quiet when she was near. Do you regret meeting me? She asked suddenly. Not once, even with her circling. Especially with her circling, I said. She smiled, but it was faint. She scares me. I looked at her, surprised. Why? Because she doesn't care who she hurts, as long as she wins. People like that don't stop. Her words hit harder than I wanted to admit. I won't let her touch you. She stopped walking, turning toward me. You can't promise that, but I need to know you'll choose. Choose what? Between her games and something real, I stepped closer, the air between us humming. I already chose the moment I met you. Her breath caught, and for a second I thought she might kiss me. But before either of us moved, a voice sliced through the night. Well, isn't this sweet, Amelia? She stepped out from the shadows, heels clicking against the pavement. Her eyes locked on Isla, blazing. You must be Isla, she said. Isla stiffened but stood her ground. And you must be Amelia. Amelia smiled like a knife. He'll never love you the way he loved me. The rain came down hard as Isla and I left the cafe. She pulled her jacket tighter and laughed when a car splashed water near the curb. You're soaked, she said. So are you, I answered. She nudged my arm. At least I don't look like a drowned cat. I shook my head. Thanks for the support. Any time, she teased. We walked side by side, shoulders brushing. Each step felt heavier than the one before. The city glistened under streetlights, and the storm made everything quieter. Like the world had narrowed to just us. She glanced at me. Do you ever feel like the rain slows everything down? Sometimes, I said. Right now, yes. Her voice softened. Then maybe slowing down is what you need. I studied her face, drops of water clinging to her lashes. Maybe what I need is right here. Her breath caught. She looked away quickly. Don't say things like that. Why not? Because it makes it harder to pretend we're just friends. We aren't just friends. Her steps faltered. Then what are we? I stopped walking. I don't know. But I know I feel something every time you're near. She turned toward me, eyes searching mine. You think I don't feel it too? The rain seemed to fade as she moved closer, her jacket brushing against me. My heart pounded. Tell me you don't want this, I whispered. She didn't move away. I can't. Her lips hovered inches from mine. I could feel her breath, warm against the cold night air. I shouldn't, I said. Neither should I, she replied. The tension crackled. I leaned in, almost closing the distance, when her phone buzzed. She stepped back. Saved by the bell, she said, half-dash smiling. My phone rang at the same moment. Amelia's name? I froze. Isla saw it. Of course it's her. I hesitated, thumb hovering. What if it's nothing? What if it's something? Isla challenged. I answered. What do you want, Amelia? Her voice was shaky, frantic. Please. I need you. You always say that. This time I'm serious, she cried. I'm in trouble. I don't know who else to call. I gritted my teeth. You made your choices. Don't hang up, she begged. If you don't come now, you'll never see me again. The line went silent except for her sobs. My chest tightened. Old guilt pressed against me, dragging me backward. Isla's eyes locked on mine, waiting for my answer. The rain hadn't stopped by the time I reached Amelia's apartment. I knocked once before the door swung open. Her eyes were red, mascara smudged down her cheeks. Thank God, she whispered. I thought you wouldn't come. I stepped inside. What happened? She threw herself into my chest, arms gripping me like she was drowning. I couldn't breathe. Everything was spinning. I just needed you. I held her shoulders, forcing her to meet my eyes. Amelia, talk to me. What's going on? Her lips trembled. I messed up. I pushed you away. And now I can't sleep, I can't eat. I feel like I'm losing my mind. You chose this, I said quietly. She flinched. Don't say that. Not when I'm like this. You called me. You wanted me here? So tell me the truth. Tears welled again. I don't want to lose you. I took a step back. You already did. She reached for me, fingers brushing mine. But you came. That means something. I shook my head. It means I still care if you're safe. That's it, her voice cracked. Don't lie to me. I know you still feel it. I swallowed hard. Ila's face flashed in my mind, the way her laugh had filled the air. The way her eyes had looked into mine under the rain. You're wrong, I said. I don't feel it the way I used to. She pressed closer, her perfume clinging to the room. Then why are you shaking? Because you know how to pull me back. Her lips hovered near mine. Then let me remind you what we had. I froze. For a second, the past clawed at me. The nights we spent tangled, the promises, the fire. But then came the memory of betrayal, of waking up alone, of the silence she left me in. I pulled away. Stop. Her eyes narrowed. So she's the reason. My jaw clenched. This isn't about her. It's about us being over. Her laugh was bitter. You think she can love you the way I did? You think she understands you? She doesn't have to, I said. She respects me. That's enough. She touched her chest. I'm still the one who knows your scars. The one who stood with you through the worst. You also caused some of the worst. Her face hardened and softened again as she collapsed onto the couch. Please, don't walk out. Not yet. I stayed silent, watching her crumble. She whispered, just sit with me. For a while, that's all I ask. I sat, keeping space between us. She leaned against me anyway, her head on my shoulder, her breath unsteady. Remember how we used to fit? She murmured. Like this. I closed my eyes. That's the problem. I remember too well. Her hand slid over mine. Then don't forget. Please. My pulse raced. I wanted to believe her. Wanted to believe the trembling in her voice meant love. But deep down I knew this wasn't love. This was her fear of losing power. I stayed until the storm outside faded to gray dawn. When I finally stood, her fingers clutched mine. Desperate. You'll come back, she said softly. I didn't answer. I walked out of her building just as the sun rose. My heart felt heavy, but my steps were certain. Then I froze. Across the street stood Isla. Her eyes widened when she saw me leaving Amelia's place. No words, no accusations. Just heartbreak written across her face. Asterisk, I caught up to Isla before she could walk away. Wait, I said. She turned slowly, eyes sharp. What are you doing leaving her place at sunrise? It's not what you think. Her laugh was short and bitter. It looks exactly like what I think. She called me. She said she needed help, and you ran to her. Isla cut in. Of course you did. I stepped closer. I didn't sleep with her. I didn't even touch her like that. Then why does it feel like you did? Her voice cracked. Because you saw me there. Because of the history we share. Her arms crossed. History is the perfect excuse. You know how broken she is, and you let her pull you back into her chaos. I couldn't ignore her. She sounded desperate. So she snaps her fingers and you go running. Isla shook her head. You think that's strength? It's weakness. The words cut, but I forced myself to meet her gaze. I was trying to be decent. No, you were trying to relive something that should already be buried. Silence stretched between us. Heavy and painful, I said quietly, I care about you. More than I want to admit. Her lips trembled. Then prove it. Because right now, I feel like her shadow is still between us. I'm not with her. I don't want to be. Does she know that? Isla asked. I hesitated. Her eyes closed like the pause told her everything. That's what I thought. I swear, Isla, she doesn't own me anymore. Then why are you here explaining yourself? Because I don't want to lose you. Her voice softened, but the hurt stayed. You might already have. I reached for her hand. Don't say that. She pulled back. I won't be second. Not to her. Not to your memories. She's manipulating me. I see that now. Good, Isla said. But seeing it doesn't mean much if you still let her in. I felt the sting of truth. Amelia was a fire I knew would burn me, yet part of me still stepped close. Give me a chance, I pleaded. Let me show you I can walk away from her. Isla studied me, pain flickering in her eyes. I want to believe you, but every time I think you're free, she pulls you back. She won't win. Not this time. You sound sure, Isla whispered. But you sounded sure before. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed in my pocket. Her name lit the screen. Ila's eyes darted to it. Of course I won't answer, I said quickly. You already did. The second you showed up for her last night, I shoved the phone away. I'm standing in front of you. That's what matters. Then listen to me, she said, stepping closer. If you can't let her go, then don't come back to me. The words slammed into me harder than any betrayal ever had. The knock at my apartment door was sharp, almost frantic. When I opened it, Amelia stood there, hair perfectly in place. Lips curved into a smile I didn't trust. "You didn't answer my calls," she said, stepping past me without waiting for an invitation. "I didn't want to." "You don't mean that." She set her purse on the counter like she owned the place. "You still care. I saw it last night. You saw a man trying to stop someone from falling apart. Nothing more." She tilted her head. "You always reduce us to charity when you're scared of admitting what we really are." "What we are," I repeated. "We're nothing." Her eyes narrowed. "Then why did you come when I called?" "Because I'm not heartless. But don't mistake compassion for love." Her laugh was low. "Love. That's rich, coming from you." "What's that supposed to mean?" She moved closer, perfume sharp in the air. "You were never enough for me. You know that, right?" The words hit harder than I expected. "Then why stay? Why lie?" "Because you were safe. Back up. A man who'd never leave, no matter what I did." I felt my jaw tighten. "And the other man?" Her smile returned, sly and cruel. "He never went away." "Did you really think he did?" I stared at her, every muscle in my body burning. "So while you told me you loved me, you were still seeing him. Not just seeing him. Needing him." She leaned in close, her whisper deliberate. "And he was everything you weren't." I stepped back, my chest hollow. "You could have just left me, but where's the fun in that? You made it too easy to play both sides. And when he disappointed me, there you were waiting." Her words sliced, but something unexpected washed over me. "Not rage? Not heartbreak? Nothing. You're pathetic," I said quietly. Her lips parted in mock offense. "Pathetic? Look at you. Running after another woman, pretending she can erase me? She already has." The confidence in my voice startled her. She faltered, searching my face. "You don't mean that." "I mean every word. You don't matter anymore." Her eyes glossed with anger. "You'll regret saying that." "No," I said, steady and cold. "I regret wasting years believing you were capable of love." The silence stretched. For once, she had no clever comeback. I grabbed her purse, pressed it into her hands, and opened the door. "Get out." She hesitated, then tried one last attempt, voice softer. "You'll never love her like you loved me." "You're right," I said, "because what I felt for you was blind. What I feel for her is real." The mask cracked. Her face twisted with fury as she stormed out. When the door slammed, the quiet felt different. Not heavy. Not lonely, free. I looked at my phone. Illa's name stared back at me in old messages I had ignored. My chest tightened. Amelia had lost all power over me. But Isla. She was slipping away, and that loss scared me more than anything Amelia had done. I grabbed my coat and rushed out. The city lights blurred as I drove. Every red light a punishment. My hand shook on the wheel. Not from Amelia's poison, but from the thought of Isla closing her door for good. When I finally reached her building, I took the stairs 2 at a time, my breath sharp in my lungs. I knocked once, then again harder. The door opened. Isla stood there, her hair loose, her expression unreadable. My heart pounded. "Can I come in?" The knock at my door sounded like a verdict. I opened it to find Amelia standing there, hair unruly, eyes rimmed red. She looked smaller than she had in my memory. "And that made me steady in a way I hadn't expected. You came," she said. Voice thin. "I'm here," I answered. She stepped inside without asking and dropped onto the couch like she belonged. "I couldn't live with how things ended," she said. "I need you to know I never meant to hurt you." "You meant to keep me safe," I said. "You meant to keep him safe too." She flinched. "Stop it. Don't make this about him. Make it about him," asked. "You were sleeping with him while telling me you loved me. You were sharing secrets with him while I made plans for us. How is that not about him?" Her hands twisted together. "People make mistakes." I was confused. "Confused is not lying," I said. "Confused is missing a bill." Confused is a wrong turn. You made choices. You hid them. She looked at me like she expected me to crumble. Please, say something kind. Kind, I repeated. Kind would have been telling the truth from the start. Kind would have been leaving if you couldn't love me honestly. She stood abruptly. You sound so calm. You used to rage. You used to beg. I used to love you with everything I had, I said. But love doesn't survive being used for comfort and convenience. Her face hardened. You think you're better than me now? With her. I'm not better because I have someone else, I said. I'm better because I learned what love actually looks like. She laughed, bitter and small. You think she's love? That quiet woman? She's a replacement. Isla is not a replacement, I said. She's a choice. You always chose easy when it served you, she snapped. You chose what required no effort. That's not true, I said. I chose you when I thought you were someone I could trust. I chose Isla because she showed me respect and steadiness. She showed me honesty. You're lying to make yourself feel noble, she accused. She's temporary. I know you better. You knew how to hurt me, I said. Isla knows how to build me. Her eyes darkened. You'll regret this. You'll come crawling back. That used to be true, I said. Not anymore. She moved closer, voice low. If you leave me now, don't think you'll find peace. I will make sure you remember what you lost. You can threaten me, I said. You can try to manipulate me. You can watch me find happiness with someone who chooses me. That will be your punishment. She stared as if the words struck her physically. For the first time since this began, I felt no tremor of longing. I felt relief. She sank back onto the couch and began to cry quietly. The sound was hollow, like an echo of something that used to be alive. I waited until her shoulders stopped shaking. Then I walked to the door. I'm leaving, I said. She grabbed my wrist. Please, don't walk out. Just hear me. I can change. You could have changed before you hurt me, I replied. Change now is about you, not us. She let go. So you choose her? Yes, I said. I choose someone who doesn't lie to me. Someone who doesn't make me doubt my worth. Her face crumpled in a way that looked like repentance and rage at once. You're cruel. I'm honest, I said. She stood and walked to the door. Before she left, she turned and said, You'll never have what we had. You'll always wonder. I already wondered, I answered. Now I know. She closed the door softly behind her. The apartment felt empty and clear. I pulled my phone from my pocket and called Isla. My hands didn't shake this time. The line connected, and her voice greeted me like sunlight. Can you come over? I asked now. She replied, cautious. Yes, I said. Please. She arrived a short time later with no fanfare, just a scarf in her hand and eyes that searched mine. She stepped into the room like she was assessing a fragile thing. Then she crossed the space and sat beside me, close, but giving me room to breathe. You okay? She asked. I am now, I said. She studied me. You sound sure? I am sure, I said. I needed to tell her what she needed to hear. I needed to be honest with myself. She reached for my hand and held it simply. No drama, no grand gestures. That steady contact did more for me than any speech I could have given. Tell me, she said. Everything, I told her as the rain outside began to slow. I told her about the lie I discovered, about the nights of confusion, about the way Amelia tried to pull me back with guilt and fear. I kept the details that would hurt for no reason out of the story. I left in the truth that mattered. I had been wounded, and I was choosing to heal with her. When I finished, Isla squeezed my hand. I believe you, she said. You stayed, I said, surprised at how simple telling the truth felt. I waited, she replied. But I'll never be your consolation. You're not, I said. She smiled, small and steady. Good. There was a moment of silence that hummed with all the things we had not yet said. I cupped her cheek and felt the warmth of her skin under my palm. It was real. It was honest. It steadied me in a way Amelia never could. Is it okay if I say this? I asked. Say it, she encouraged. I'm sorry, I said. For letting her pull me back? For making you doubt me? For not fighting sooner? She shook her head. You're here now. I want to be here, I said. With you? She leaned into my hand, eyes closing for a second. Then she opened them and searched my face. I needed you to mean that, she said. Not just say it. I mean it, I told her. Completely. Her lips curved. Good. I pulled her closer, and we fit in a quiet, careful way. No dramatic declarations, no grand gestures. Only the honest press of bodies and the new promise of patience. The sound of the city faded. There was only the soft hum of the radiator in our breath. Measured and calm, she rested her head against my chest and whispered, You're mine now, and I'm not letting you go. Her words were not a claim made to hurt anyone. They were a vow, soft and fierce. I closed my eyes, feeling the weight lift and the future settle like a hand on my shoulder.